I went from sleeping on a pallet on my best friend's floor to planting 12 plus trees in the yard of a home I own. Not because I woke up one day full of motivation, but because something mattered more than my comfort. Because I made one move and then another, and that's how it works. Faith moves, and so do you.
Be limitless. Limitless. Started up, we finish. Limitless. Never running out of energy. Limitless. Keep it going till we finish. Keep it going till we finish. Keep it going, I am limitless.
Yeah, man. Welcome to another episode of the Be Limitless Today Podcast. I am your host, Jarvis Cobb. And thank you guys for tuning in and spending some time with your boy, man. I certainly appreciate you. So this week, something I've been thinking about. Imagine you lying in the same place for 38 years. I'm talking same spot, same situation, same waiting. And when someone finally comes to ask you what you want, you give them every reason why it has not happened yet. Now, I used to think this story was about somebody else. But then I looked up one day and realized I was on the floor. Not for 38 years, but long enough. Long enough to know exactly what that kind of waiting cost you. So today, we are going to talk about what it actually takes to get up. Our topic for this week is effort, not motivation. Effort, not motivation. So I was 25 years old. My car couldn't pass emissions. So it kept getting tickets because it was just sitting in a lot. I stopped driving it because I got pulled over and the tags were expired. I kept putting off dealing with getting that fixed, and eventually they came and towed the car and took it away. So that meant no car. That means not being able to get to work. So I lost a job too. I was living with my brother at the time, 2-bedroom apartment. The total rent was $720. My half was $360, and I could not pay it. Not in October, not in November, and not in December. Now, I told myself losing this job was God actually opening the door for me to pursue acting full time. I had been doing it on the side, and I thought, this is my moment. Except I couldn't even afford to get to the auditions. But I held on to that story. And we got evicted in January. And I ended up on my best friend's floor. Now, I started on the couch, but his mom came over one day and said the couch was starting to get some dents in it. So I had to move to making pallets on the floor. And boy, anybody know growing up with brothers and sisters, them pallets, boy, they come in handy. But at the time, my then girlfriend, she had bought me a mattress pad to put on top of the pallets. Now, she didn't say this at the time, but later in life, I realized what she was saying, which was, I'm not going to fix this for you, but I will make you a little more comfortable while you figure it out. And here's the thing. I stayed. I had a roof over my head. I had people around me. I had somewhere to sleep. And that was enough for me. Yeah, I got comfortable on that floor. 18 months I was down there. And the shift did not come from a feeling. It came from her. As we got more serious and I realized that my decisions were not just affecting me anymore, that they were affecting someone I was falling in love with as well. And I had to ask myself, you cool with being on the floor, but are you cool with her being on the floor with you? And that's the question that got me up. Not motivation, love, responsibility, something bigger than my comfort. So I started submitting for IT contract work. I got a contract, and that contract became a full-time job. And that job became a career. So I've been in IT for over a decade now. And that girlfriend is now my wife, married 9 years, and we've been together for 14 years. We have a family. We bought 2 homes together. both just in my name because I built my credit up getting up off of that floor. And this year with the new home, I just bought this girl 12 privacy trees. I think you called them arborvitae or something like that. And then she wanted these bushes. I had to write these bushes down because I didn't know the name of this stuff, but it was 12 12 flamingo dapple willow bushes and a temple of the bloom 7 suns tree. And apparently something like a halo dogwood bush that goes on the side. This stuff is wild, how many plants and names and all the stuff that they got for the yard. I just know she wanted them. She had a vision to put them all together, and I bought them. So I went from a pallet on my best friend's floor to planting trees in the yard that we own. Now that's what one move started. And I just told you, I was sleeping on the pallet on the floor. And I want you to notice something. I was not suffering enough to move. I mean, I talked about brothers and sisters. I grew up one of 5 boys. We adopted a 6th with a single mother. My dad always lived close, so he was always around, always there. But it was just us in the house. And growing up like that, you make do with what you can, and you be happy as long as you have the basics. So while on that pallet, I had a roof. I had people, I had my mattress pad, and that was enough for me. But comfort will keep you as stuck as struggle will if you are not careful. I want to slow down on that one. Comfort will keep you just as stuck as struggle will if you are not careful. And here's what most people believe. They believe you need to feel motivated before you can take action. But here's what's actually true. Action creates the motivation, not the other way around. One of the oldest pieces of wisdom ever written says this: whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all of your might. Not when you feel like it, not when the conditions are right. Whatever your hands finds to do right now, do everything you can with it, with what you have. I had a story I was telling myself about acting. I was talking about it. I was believing in it. I was holding space for it, but I couldn't afford to go to the auditions. And while I was talking, nothing was getting built. An old proverb says, hard work brings profit. Mere talk leads only to poverty. I was literally poor and still just talking. Now, here's the thing about that floor. What finally got me off of it was not a feeling. It was a reason. When my decision started affecting someone else, something shifted. That is what action actually needs. Not a feeling, a reason. Because motivation is the reward for effort, not the requirement for it. Intention without movement does not build a career, a marriage, a family, or a yard full of trees. Last week, in the last episode, we talked about beliefs that quietly run the show. And one of the most common is this: I would do it when I feel like it. And that belief has a real cost. Today, we name it and replace it. Okay, we're going to name it and replace it. So I got 5 questions for you, and I want you to sit with each one. Question number 1. What is the floor you've been comfortable on? And what situation have you stayed in longer than you should because it was just enough to get by? Question number 2. Is there a story that you've been telling yourself about why you are waiting? An acting dream, a someday plan, a condition that has to be met first. What is that story costing you? Question number 3. Are you cool with being where you are right now? And are you cool with the people you love being there with you? Question number 4. What is the smallest first move available to your hands right now? I'm not talking about the full plan, the one submission, the one call, the one application. What is the one small thing you can do now? And question number 5. If someone you love depended on you moving, what would you do today that you've been putting off? Now, you are not somebody that lacks motivation. You are someone who has not yet found a reason that is bigger than your comfort. That is a different problem, and it has to have a different solution. The strength you need to move is already available to you. It's not something you have to manufacture before you begin, but you still have to move. The promise of strength does not exempt you from taking the steps that you need to take. It meets you in that step. Now, I did not get off the floor because I felt ready. I got off of it because someone I loved was on it with me, and that mattered more than how I felt. You do not need to feel like it. Let me just get that straight. You don't need to feel like it. You need a reason. And most of the time, that reason is already in your life. You just have not let it move you yet. Now, you are not the person on the floor. You are the person who gets up. My first move was one contract submission. That's it. I reached out, put my resume out there to submit for a contract job. And that one move became a decade-long career, a marriage, a family, 2 homes. Right? Pick one thing you've been waiting to feel motivated to do and take one swing at it within the next 7 days. Do not grow weary in doing good, because the harvest comes to the ones who do not quit. So that is your move. Don't quit. Take your step. Find that one thing you could do in the next 7 days and attach it to a reason. Not a feeling, not a story. Attach it to a reason that can get you to move right now. So that's the coaching for today, man. I'm going to leave it right there. Let's get into root work. Oh, yeah, man. So for those that don't know, root work is a practice of accountability and ownership, starting with creating change within yourself. I have my handy dandy spinning wheel here that's full of sticky notes. So every time I hear a sermon, a speech, a quote, something that moves me, I write it down on a sticky note and I put it inside of here. And during the root work segment here, I go through, I pick 2 at random, and then I speak to them with our topic of the week in mind. So our topic is effort, not motivation. We're going to pick 2 root works. We're going to see how they can align with that. I'll tell you a little bit about my life, where I was when I wrote it, or what I learned from it. And hopefully this brings value to you. So let's get to it. All right. Root work number 1. Drop on your knees and pray to God at least 1 minute a day. Drop on your knees and pray to God at least 1 minute a day. I'm not sure where I was in my life when I wrote this, but what I just learned through some of the struggles I've gone through is that when like real hard times hit, I would find myself praying more, listening to more gospel music, listening to things that were more uplifting and not just entertaining. And it got to a point to where I was going back to our topic, effort, not motivation. I shouldn't have to be motivated to talk to God. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to be going through a situation. I shouldn't have to have something I'm praying for or something I want to happen. There should be a consistent pattern of me speaking with God, having a relationship with God without needing something in return. Connecting it to our topic with effort, not motivation. I shouldn't have to be motivated. I should just give the effort to connect, build that relationship with my God. So when tough times comes, there's nothing new I have to do. Now we're just adding in a new segment of the prayer, a new segment of, what I feel like I need in that season of my life. So I picked that up. It's been years now, but I've told multiple people my rule for myself is God gets my ear every day. And I say it that way because I don't want to say I talk to God every day, because then it's just me speaking at God, asking, saying I need something, saying what I'm struggling with. When I say God gets my ear, I'm listening to something. Now I'm trying to be fed with his spirit, with his word, with his knowledge. So I listen to a sermon every day or a clip, 5, 10, 15-minute clip. It's usually Stephen Furtick, pastor down in Charlotte, North Carolina for Elevation Church. I've been rocking with him for some years now, and just the way he breaks it down, tells the stories of the Bible, gives the information, I just rock with it heavy. It makes sense to me. So that's my guy. Of course, you got the TD Jakes and who else? I grew up with Bill Winston, went to Bill Winston Church for a long time. Jesse Duplantis was another pastor I used to listen to a lot. But Stephen Furtick, these days, that's my guy. He has a ton of clips, a ton of sermons, and I get fed every day with God's word. So that's what I get from that. I don't need to be motivated to talk to my God. I need to give effort every day to talk with him, to listen, and to take heed to his guidance. Root work number 2. Oh, wow. You start your questions with, what if they? And God responds with, what's in your hand? Come on, man. You start your questions with, what if they? And God responds with, what is in your hand? Dog, you talking about effort, not motivation. I know this was a Stephen Furtick sermon, and it was the story of Moses. And God was telling Moses to go tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And Moses is like, man, I don't think you picked the right person. I don't even speak eloquently. I can't even wax deep like that, as Eric Thomas would say. But in the story, God didn't even respond to all of that he was talking about at first. He just asked, but what did I put in your hand? That told me whatever dream, vision, or purpose that I feel I have, whatever mission that I feel I should be attacking, my focus can't be, what if they don't accept me? What if they don't listen to what I say? What if they don't care about the videos? What if they don't give me any likes or comments? What if I don't make money from the brand or make money speaking? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not an orator? You know what I mean? What if I don't have the juice? What if I don't have the skills? And God is saying, what did I put in your hand? What did I already give you? I didn't ask you to be this best of the best coming out the gate. I didn't ask you to be tier 1 on your first day. I gave you a certain level of skills, and I gave you a task. And if I gave you the task, that means I gave you enough skills to complete the task. So I need you to stop focusing on what your motivation is. I need you to stop focusing on what other people might think. I need you to stop focusing on how would this person respond? How would your wife respond? Will your friends help you? Will your brothers help you? Will they lift you up? Will people give you opportunity? Will people reach out and tell you how the podcast or how how your videos are impacting them. All that is just motivation. You want to be pushed. You want to be praised. You want to be lifted up in order to do something. I need your effort. I need you to move, and I need you to do the task I'm putting in front of you. And regardless if anybody says yay or boo, I need you to do it. Because while you're looking for what if they, there's that one or two people out there that just needs to hear the words. They're going through a hard time in their life. They're thinking about giving up. They're thinking about quitting. They're stuck, or they're comfortable, or they're complacent. And if they stay in that place, it's really going to be a detriment to their life. And out of all the words in the world, when they hear your words, the words I'm giving you, that'll be the thing that helps them to move. So yeah, man, what is in your hand? What do you have? What can you move on? I don't think I can get any better with that. So that was root word number 2. Man, just to close us out, dog. I went from sleeping on a pallet on my best friend's floor to planting 12 plus trees in the yard of a home I own. Not because I woke up one day full of motivation, but because something mattered more than my comfort. Because I made one move and then another, and that's how it works. Faith moves, and so do you. You are somebody who takes action, even when it's small, even when it's imperfect, even when you do not feel like it. That is who you are becoming week by week. And that person builds something real. Now, if this episode hit for you, send it to one person who is sitting on the floor right now. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episode, where we'll be talking about physical action as proof of who you are becoming. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. You know, we always say negative news is freely given. Positive news must be searched for. And if you can't find it, then you create it. So go and create you some positive news this week. All right. Be love, be you, and be limitless today.
Be limitless today.
Coming to get it and pushing the limits. You better pray we ain't come to play.